Hey everyone, happy Monday. I'm Vickie Howell. Welcome to, I believe it's number 24 of Ask Me Monday here live on Facebook. So I had an original plan for today and that kind of went to hell in a handbasket because I'm missing something that I needed for it. So I decided that I was going to come on and show you a quick tip that applies to something that I'm working on right now. Before I get to that though, I wanted to just share a couple things. For those of you that missed it last week, my bi-monthly posts that I did for Clover, I do a project a couple times a month for Clover, and this is what I did this last round. It is a drawstring bag, obviously, but it's made, the size is made to be able to carry, like if you were working on knitting a pair of socks or crocheting some, wrist warmers or something small. This is like the perfect size bag to just then throw in your bigger bag. See, it kind of collapses into itself if you just to store. But then it gets, because it's done in garter stitch, it's got a lot of stretch and it's super fun. I use this Aluminor fabric, which is kind of a papery fabric that the Fairfield people sent me. And then this yarn is cottonish, but you could use really anything that you wanted. A sport weight would be great. That's what I'm doing. So that pattern can be found on the Clover USA blog, or you can find it through my website. Really fun kind of, weekend project. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you this. Here's what so today I've been working on some mittens for a project that I hopefully will be able to tell you about soon. And the back of them, or the palm side of them, are done in reverse stockinette. And so reverse stockinette stitch when you're working in the round means that you have to purl every row because you're never working on the wrong side row. So what can happen sometimes, especially when you're working on double pointed needles, is that you can get a little jog bump or a little space. And I have this little piece. Let's see if I tried to exaggerate it so you could see it on this camera, but we'll see. So can you tell how, like, here's what a regular purl bump would look like. But can you see how those purl bumps are a little bit longer and wider and you kind of get a gap? Well, that's what I'm going to show you how to prevent or at least decrease. So here's a mitten, backside of a mitten. I can't show you the front side yet, but I will be able to do so shortly within the next, hopefully, couple days. And I'm going to show you how to prevent the jog that I just showed you. So we have to do the usual thing where I flip the camera. So just bear with me as I move in my very sophisticated book stack and, dollar bin box camera setup. Hold on one second. I wish there was a way that you didn't have to see my button, but there just isn't. All right, so we're set up. Let's get the gold bag out of the way so you're not getting a glare. And I'm going to bring the mitten that I'm working on right now into play. All right, so I've come to the beginning of the round. And it's time for me to introduce that next needle. You know what, let me see if I can get further back so you can see this a little bit better. So normally what I would do here is I would just introduce the next needle, right? And then I would purl. But this is how I'm getting the longer jog. And that's because not only was there the gap between the two needles, but also this is going one row up. So it's an additional amount of space. So what I like to do to prevent that, it's really simple, is that when I get to the end of the last round and I'm ready to start the beginning, instead of introducing that fourth needle or fifth, depending on how many needles you're working on, needle, then I work a couple of stitches on that first needle, and then I take that other needle that I was going to introduce before, I pinch here, I slide those two stitches I just worked, and then I introduce the needle. And then from there I just go on and purl as I normally would. And that just takes one of the problematic gap causers out of the equation. You're only dealing with introducing the needle and not also introducing a needle and it being a higher round, or the next round up. And that's really all there is to it. Super simple. It ends up making a big difference in your work. you know, that gap may not bother you in the first place, but for me, if you're seeing like this really steady, I'm about to have a book avalanche here, this really steady, you know, pattern of bumps, it's a little bit, it's not awesome on the eye if you can see exactly where the round began and ended. So that's really all I have to show you today. Let me see if I have, I'm going to scroll through and see if there's any questions from you. You can tell it's hot in here. My cheeks are like bright red. You can also tell I'm Irish. I swear I haven't been drinking. It's just hot in here. All right, so it looks like, oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for the compliment on my hair. No, I didn't just get it done. Thank you. I guess it's just a happy day. Okay, so Cherie or Sherry, my aunt spells her name like you do, and she goes by Sherry, but I know another woman who goes by Cherie, and it's spelled the same way, so I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. She's saying that she's excited for this tip because she had that same problem with a newborn hat. Yeah, I know, it's such a bummer. I mean, you know, with babies, they're laying down anyway, so like, because I've done that on sweaters too, and I'm like, oh gosh, should I redo it? I'm like, you're being crazy. Nobody's going to notice besides that. But for mittens, you're legitimately, you know, going to be looking at your hands. So that's that. All right. It looks like we don't have a ton of, oh, it's Sherry. Okay, just like my aunt. Okay, good. It looks like we don't have a ton of questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end off. But what I did want to share with you is that just minutes ago, I signed a contract to be a guest editor for an upcoming special issue of Crochet Scene. So that'll be super exciting. And because of that, next week's Ask Me Monday, we will actually have a in-studio guest because the editor of Interweave Crochet, who will be overseeing and working in partnership with me for this issue, is going to be coming to my studio. She's flying into Austin and going to come visit me, and I don't know if she knows this yet. I'm going to make her get on this live feed with me. So over the next week, be thinking up some great crochet questions for you because she really knows her stuff. Her name is Marcy Smith. You might have seen her. She's been a guest a couple times when I was hosting Knitting Daily. She'd come on for the crochet days. She's the longtime editor of Interweave Crochet, and then she also oversees any other special issues for crochet that they do, like Crochet Scene. So should be super fun. I'm looking forward to it. That issue will come out, I believe, in the fall. So we're just going to start working on it now. So next Monday, please tune in for a special guest. And until then, think up those great questions. You can post them at any time on my Facebook page. And I'll also put a call out for it next week. And hopefully that tip is helpful if you're not working in reverse stockinette stitch right now or with purls in general right now in the round. Maybe just bookmark this for a time that you are. All right. Don't forget to sign up for subscribe on iTunes or through I think I'm on Stitcher for my upcoming podcast, Craftish. I've interviewed some people already. I had a great interview with Kara Gott Warner, who's the editor of Creative Knitting. Lovely, lovely conversation with Rachel Herron, who is a best-selling romance novelist, but also an avid knitter and also writes in the Knitlit category as well. I've spoken with the CEO of Spoonflower, the fabric printing company. Really just some fun interviews. And so we're about 5 weeks until launch. So please go and subscribe so you are alerted. And until next week, I hope you have a happy Stitcherly week. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.